All right, here I am on GU, and let's start everything on the 4-hour time frame. Well, on the 4-hour time frame, a break of the last recent 4-hour demand has happened. As you can see, this 4-hour demand has caused the breakout structure here to the upside, caused really nice volume candle to the upside, made this really nice inefficient candle, and there was liquidity above it, but this liquidity wasn't strong enough for the price to reverse from this demand. Instead, the price has just broken below it and left behind a newly formed 4-hour supply. After the break of this demand, actually I was focusing on shorts, so you can see that uh, the plans on EU and GU technically lined up perfectly. And there was one more thing that I have realized during the session. The swing breakout structure has happened technically from this demand, but this demand, as you can see, couldn't really manage to give that huge reaction to the upside. So I was expecting further continuation to the downside, mitigation of this demand right here. That has caused also the swing breakout structure. So technically this is our extreme in this case. This is our decisional zone, decisional 4-hour demand that has caused the swing breakout structure. And I was expecting further movement to the downside before a bigger pullback to the upside. So that's why I was waiting for shorts maybe, but actually I found a long entry opportunity in this session, and let me show you that which one is that. So technically on the 4-hour time frame, that's all. Price reacted on this 4-hour demand that has caused this breakout structure, but it wasn't that huge reaction. On the 50-minute time frame, you will see that much better. So the break of this 4-hour demand, the last recent 4-hour demand that has caused the breakout structure here has happened. So 4-hour candle closed below it, several 4-hour candles closed below it. But after that, price, as I said, reacted on a swing breakout structure demand. That was a nice reaction, but actually I wanted to see at least the fail of this high point in order to execute longs mainly. So at this point, I was focusing mainly on shorts, sorry. But the supply has a chance to hold the price, to reverse back to lower demand regions. And actually, session started here. So let's talk about the session. Let's talk about the session. So yeah, this is the first candle of the session. This one right here. I have sent the markup somewhere around here where price mitigated this demand supply, sorry, that has initiated this structure breaking movement here. But also this structure breaking movement here was a sub demand mitigation zone. So it was a little bit two-sided knife at this point, and I was looking for sells on this supply area. So I was looking for confirmation entries. If it showed up, then I would target the break of this low point. I would target the break of this demand area. However, the flip happened on this supply area, as you can see. It barely made any reaction, and after the flip, price has just made a literally perfect double tops right here. This double tops has been built up for future longs, and I was really sure about that. I was sure about that. This demand area that has caused the flip of this supply will hold the price, and we can catch a long up at least to this liquidity pool, and we will see the sweep of this liquidity before the reversal. So actually this flip scenario happened perfectly, which turned out as a no tech for me. On the 5-minute time frame, you will see that much better that here is a clear 5-minute refinement of the 50-minute zone, and there was some liquidity which has been swept into the zone. Price also swept some liquidity below the zone. On the 1-minute time frame, it will be much clearer. And 5-minute candle closed inside of the 5-minute zone, 15-minute candle closed inside of the zone too. So this was a literally perfect liquidity sweeping candle. On the 1-minute time frame, yeah, here's the 1-minute time frame, I was waiting for a confirmation entry here. I wasn't sure about the flip scenario, flip entry on this zone right here, because there was also nice amount of liquidity below it. And I was waiting for a confirmation entry in this case, which actually happened. So there was liquidity below the zone, there was liquidity above the zone. This liquidity has been swept into this 5-minute demand area, but this liquidity has been swept also with this movement right here. Price wick below the zone and instantly reversed back to the upside, caused a V-shaped recovery with a change of character here. This was the last recent high point. This week was the last recent supply, but we know that on 1-minute time frame, a weak break is perfectly enough in order to call it as a change of character. There was a weak break. Also, there was a small body break, so the change of character happened. In this case, I marked out this zone right here, which has caused the change of character directly. There was a small stop in the market. And after that, price has printed nice volume candles, caused change of character. But I also marked out this extreme zone right here, which was the origin of the character changing movement. As you can see, I was waiting for a combined liquidation for the decisional zone. It did not happen. And also, I did wait for a confirmation for a combined liquidation for the extreme zone. At this point, I wasn't 100% sure about this setup, but I had really good feeling about it, and I was pretty sure. However, on the other hand, I was pretty sure that price has to sweep this liquidity, this literally perfect liquidity double tops, in order to make a reversal to the downside. So I was pretty sure about the sweep of this liquidity, but in overall, the 15-minute price action wasn't the best, wasn't the most beautiful one. It was a bit messy, but I was pretty sure about the sweep of this liquidity right here, and that's why I was looking for longs after the confirmation on this flip zone right here that has caused the flip of this 15-minute supply area. Also, there wasn't liquidity, there wasn't enough liquidity for the price to reverse the price, for make a reversal to the downside. So that's why I was expecting further sweep from this region into some higher supply area. Before the liquidity sweep happened here, I set my limit order on the equilibrium of the whole zone, used 2.5 pip stop loss that safely covered the zone. And you can see that here is the liquidity pool. And that's what I was talking about on EU. If you take a look on EU, and as you saw that on EU, technically this was the liquidity creation on EU. I was waiting for this kind of liquidity creation in this case, and technically this was the first touch, second touch, third touch. So I was waiting for a bit more liquidity on EU, which did not happen, but actually it did happen on GU, and that's why I decided to set a limit order here. And let's count the criteria for this trade. The first one was the higher time frame zone mitigation. The second one was the liquidity take for the higher time frame zones. Third one was inefficiency for the extreme zone. It did happen here. Perfect. And technically, I did count the pro order flow, pro trend criteria, because if you take a look here, price reacting on this demand area, 2 supply zones has broken, price just built up liquidity here. There wasn't any strong reaction, or there wasn't any real valuable supply at this region. So that's why I was expecting further longs before the bigger reversal to the downside. But it wasn't that clear. I admit it wasn't that clear on the 15-minute time frame, but I had counted the broke trend criteria, so it was there. There was change of character to the upside with perfect V-shaped recovery. So 5th and 6th criteria is there. Perfect. There was liquidity target, as you can see right here. Before the tagging price has just printed perfect liquidity here for the longs. So this was the 7th criteria. The 8th criteria was the 50% mitigation. Price has even wicked below the zone, so it was more than 100% mitigation, but it means that we have 50% mitigation, and price wasn't coming from any opposite sided zone at this point or from this point, so there wasn't any opposite sided zone mitigation, and we had corrective pullback. No, actually the corrective pullback strong pro movement criteria was missing in this case, I was take a look about this price action region. I couldn't really decide that the bullish movements were stronger than the bullish ones. But if we take a look on the bigger picture, technically the bearish movements were stronger than the bullish ones. So that's why I did not count the corrective pullback strong pro criteria in this case, because the bullish movements were actually not that strong. So they weren't stronger than the bearish ones. Sorry. So yeah. And also I had combined liquidation in this case. This was the 10th criteria. I decided to set a limit order here. As you can see, it was a perfect no tag. And after that, after price has broken above my break-even level, I decided to delete my order from here. I was looking for further continuation opportunities, which did not happen. So even though there was a breakout structure, because it was a breakout structure, there wasn't any liquidity creation for this zone, so I couldn't really enter on it. And after that, session has closed here with this candle before the new breakout structure to the upside. So this was my breakdown. This was my thought process during the session. But if I can say one more thing, well, I would target 10 risk reward ratio in this case, because I would have been more than satisfied with that risk reward ratio. However, this 10 risk reward ratio actually perfectly lined up with a possible flip zone. If you take a look here, and if you take a look here on this 15-minute buy to sell candle, this 15-minute buy to sell candle has caused a flip of a 15-minute refinement of a 4-hour demand. So there was a 15-minute demand area. There was a 15-minute demand area, which has been flipped by this candle right here. As you can see, this is the 15-minute demand. Perfect. Let me delete this vertical line. All right. And as you can see, I would have target 10 risk reward ratio, which perfectly lined up with this flip zone. And if you take a look, also this zone right here was just above the liquidity pool. If you play price forward, you will see that technically before New York session, this zone has held the price. And the reversal with the help of the news started from this zone. So it would have been a literally perfect liquidity target level in this case. But yeah, unfortunately, it was a no tech trade for me, but it happens. And technically, that's all, guys. I really hope you can grab some value from these recaps, from the EU recap and from this recap. And that's all, guys. I want to wish all of you a nice weekend, a nice rest of the day, and take care, guys. Bye.